Hallo alle zusammen und willkommen zur nächsten Folge von Call of Cthulhu. Ja, ich bin gleich hier stehen geblieben. Ich habe gleich weitergemacht. Hier stehen die zwei, die uns da eben da rausgeholt haben, beziehungsweise, naja, das meiste haben wir ja wohl durchgestanden. Ja, hallo.
How do you feel?
Horrible.
Did I sleep long?
The day is only starting. It's fine.
Jetzt müssen wir den erstmal anquatschen.
How's our fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
Who else would it be?
Mr. Pierce, are you all right? You look like you saw a ghost.
Ja.
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us. What happened?
Oh.
What I'm sure of now is that the Hawkins case isn't just an accident.
And what brings you to that conclusion?
The fact that Charles Hawkins survived the fire.
I don't understand. Mr. Hawkins was buried.
That's what he would have you believe.
I have a hard time believing you.
You were there, Bradley. You even opened fire on him.
I'd remember that.
Why would he fake his own death? Do you think he covered up his wife's murder?
That's possible.
Seems hard to swallow. Don't you have anything more concrete, Pierce?
Wir haben nicht genug Medizinkenntnisse, das ist schade.
Bradley, what do you remember?
I don't understand your question.
The night we went into the Hawkins mansion. You don't seem to remember the tunnels and what occurred there.
No memory of going down any tunnel. No, we were in the manor, then,
Then what?
The rest is quite blurry. I don't recall how I came back home.
And then?
I went to visit you at the hospital and called on Marie's help to get you released.
And you don't remember the events of the tunnel?
I don't. Let's talk about something else.
Irgendwie ist die Narbe in seinem Gesicht auch. Oh, das wollte ich nicht.
I found a file bearing Sarah Hawkins' name in the Institute's basement.
It makes sense. A powerful family like the Hawkins had the means to hide such a disgrace.
But everyone knows the Fullers have been taking care of the Hawkins for at least a generation. And all were aware of Mrs. Hawkins' fragility.
Perhaps, but no one would allow a psychiatric internment.
From what I read in the file, Fuller used her as a subject of his experiments.
Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins, subjects of Dr. Fuller. Why those two?
I found a file bearing Sarah Hawkins' name in the Institute's basement.
It makes sense.
Ach so, das habe ich ja
Powerful
gerade.
family like the Hawkins.
But everyone knows and all were aware.
Perhaps
From what I read,
Francis Sanders.
Zup, 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 zup.
given the energy he pours into Riverside, I presume it was Fuller's creation.
His father's, to be correct. He was a surgeon on board the Scylla. He founded the
Sehr
hospital in 1904 with funds from the Hawkins family before he died and his son Thomas Fuller took over.
Two families inextricably linked.
Most island families are that way. Captain Fitzroy's father was also a seaman aboard the Scylla.
Powerful families dominating everything.
Yes, and as you could tell, Dr. Fuller is like some crazed emperor.
Ja.
He wouldn't be happy if he knew we were snooping around.
I know the risks. I don't fear him. Do you wish to know anything else?
Dr. Fuller seems to be leaving a trail of corpses. Not to mention those strange machines, chains, and tools of all kind.
Yes. I've been telling you that Fuller uses his patients as guinea pigs.
Tja, ehrlich,
What I saw was
Meerschweinchen.
more akin to torture than medicine.
Do you even hear what you're saying? Dr. Fuller is highly respected.
It's the truth, Ethan. And I'll prove it to you. I'm listening, Mr. Pierce.
I met a Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course, he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
He knew Sarah Hawkins, and that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
I'm not sure I can explain it.
Tell me how Mr. Sanders died.
I didn't see what, but something was there with us.
Of what do you speak?
Sanders said it was Sarah Hawkins' visitor. He spoke of it like a living being.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
He's right. We can't ignore the truth.
But it could drive her mad.
Better madness than ignorance. Very well. I'll go to see Francis's widow. Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
I'll do my best.
Game saved. So, ich hätte gerne noch ein medizinisches Buch, aber sofort, weil mich interessiert, was er zu seinem eigenen Tod zu sagen hat. Nein, es gibt kein Whisky. Immer diese Versuchungen. Furchtbar. Ach nee, da geht's raus. Mal gucken, ob man sich hier noch so ein bisschen weiter umgucken kann. Ach nee. Schade, wäre ja schön gewesen. Nee, gut, okay. Das ist dann nicht so gewollt, dass man sich im Haus nochmal überall umgucken kann oder so. Das ist aber auch nicht tragisch, von daher. Was haben wir hier noch alles? Hier ist auch nichts weiter.
The other night's events are still confused in my head.
Let us go now and learn the truth about what's happening on this island.
Ja, dann gehen wir mal. Ja, Alkohol gibt es nicht mehr, habe ich beschlossen. Ich glaube, das beeinflusst uns negativ, nur negativ. Das hat, glaube ich, gar keine positiven Auswirkungen auf uns. Deswegen lasse ich das mal sein. Trinke nochmal einen Schluck Saft. Jetzt geht's also zu den Sanders.
What can I do for you, sir?
Was ist das denn für eine?
I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may. However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well, well.
Ach,
Look who's here.
gucke.
You know each other.
Our paths crossed, briefly. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me. May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
What happened to your husband is terrible, Mrs. Sanders. But from what I saw, it was inevitable. The man I met yesterday had lost his reason. He suffers no longer, if you would allow me such a platitude.
Of course. Thank you for your kind words. Nobody in that hospital would have deigned to speak them to me. However, it will require more than that to soothe my mind. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute? And right before your eyes? Did you not do anything to help him?
So ask Fuller, he's the eminent doctor. But I would caution you, you'll find his treatments more terrifying than the illnesses he sets out to cure.
That churl no longer takes the trouble to receive me. He sends his secretary to tell me that I cannot see Francis. Me. His own widow. He must think that I am a terrible wife for having abandoned him in such a way. But I only wanted what was best for him.
I'm not here to condemn you, Mrs. Sanders.
Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? A shambler, to use his precise terms.
Well, you can imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The Shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it, I would urge you to make the most of your visit. Because I count on ridding myself of that thing as soon as I can.
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long.
Halt. Ich will noch wissen, was die Sarah da macht. Die Baker. Die Bakersche. Das ist aber nicht das Bild, ne?
The day the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives.
Ah ja. Rekonstruktion.
Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even? Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler, "Finally." What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting? He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom?
Die Frau.
She first refused to sell the painting. How did that make her feel? Was she jealous of Sarah Hawkins?
Na? Oh, Visionen? Ah.
The Shambler. I need to see it.
Ja. Oh. Juhu. Zeit, um J zu drücken. Immer noch nicht. Meine Güte. 5 Punkte. Wo packen wir die denn mal rein? Versteckte Hinweise ist, glaube ich, nicht verkehrt jetzt. Stärke. Ja. Es ist The Sanders, ja. Das sind die Sachen aus dem Krankenhaus. Naja, in Anführungsstrichen. Das ist der Charles Hawkins. Der hat sich die Augen ausgerissen. Und sie. Da sind wir Gott sei Dank raus. Sanity. Wo ist die Galerie? Ach, sie wieder.
That's twice you've stepped on my toes, Detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
Some can be more fatal than others. What have you come looking for in this gallery?
Another painting by Sarah Hawkins. One connected to the horrors I've discovered on this island.
What a surprise. I'm listening.
And you? What brings you to the Sanders home?
I'm here on business. Irene asked me to liquidate all these paintings. She doesn't intend to hang around here for long.
Why you?
Believe it or not, there aren't many collectors on Darkwater. It needs someone with a network and a means of transport to the mainland. A choice that comes down to Fitzroy and me. And I'm far more pleasant, wouldn't you say?
Ja, Okkultismus haben wir wohl jetzt. Eine Spieluhr. Ah, ja, okay.
An old diary.
Gucken wir dann, glaube ich, in der nächsten Folge rein.
Strange. For months, Sarah Hawkins refused to part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing.
Seltsam.
Not now, sweetheart. I'd like to read this without some snoop looking over my shoulder.
Well, well.
A strange Amerindian pendant.
Amerindian, das ist ja auch ein komischer Begriff. Was ist hier? The Whale and the Coot, or A Brief History of Darkwater by Irving Greenmouth. It is focused on the past glory of the island. Ah. No, sleeping pills?
I could use one of those.
Nein, keine Drogen, kein Alkohol. Gibt's nicht. Dann machen wir mal die Galerie. Ist das hier die Galerie? Jetzt bin ich ja mal gespannt. Oha. Das sieht ja schon mal fürchterlich aus. Oh. Die sehen ja aus. Sehr spezieller Geschmack. Da hängt es. Ja, wir gehen mal nicht so ganz nah dran. Erstmal ein bisschen umgucken. Ah ja.
Why was he so interested in old weapons?
Das sind Ritualwaffen wahrscheinlich. Da kann man nichts mitmachen. Was habe ich jetzt gemacht? Oh, das ist ja praktisch. Öl.
The man transformed an entire wing of his manor into an art gallery.
Naja, ich würde mal sagen, Galerie des Schreckens. Wir gehen mal zum Bild. Deswegen sind wir ja hier. Es sieht komisch aus. Halt. Ja, jetzt passiert doch wieder irgendwas. No. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, oh. Vorsichtig. Oha. Hallo. Ich hoffe, das ist nicht unser Untergang. Nein! Lass mich! Geh weg! Es hat keine Augen. Das ist, glaube ich, von Vorteil.
What the hell was that? I can't even touch it.
Oh.
No way out. No choice. I must get rid of it.
Ja, Ja, liebe Leute, da würde ich mal sagen, das ist doch ein Grund, mal die Folge aufzuhören und dann in der nächsten Folge genug Zeit zu haben, um da weiterzumachen. Dann werde ich jetzt mal mich verabschieden von euch und mich bedanken, dass ihr zugeschaut habt. Ich werde hier auch mal rausgehen. Sehr spannend. Bin immer noch ganz, ganz wow. Gut, okay. Ich bedanke mich fürs Zusehen und bis zum nächsten Mal. Bis zur nächsten Folge von Call of Cthulhu. Und bis dann. Tschüss. Uah.